Okay, in this animation, we're gonna make the robot shoot a laser out of his little red light and zap the UFO, make the UFO fly away. I guess we're just gonna have to assume that there's a backstory where this UFO is a bad guy and he's causing problems for this robot, and that's why he's gonna zap him away. So let's just review. What's really cool, I'm gonna show you this. You could drag along the numbers on the timeline, and you could kind of scroll through your movie to review what you've done so far. So by now your UFO is rising up. It's going to hover right above the robot's head for a second. And so what I want to do now is I'm going to expand the timeline real quick here. I'm going to go ahead and add a set of keyframes here. So I've highlighted all of the frames, and I'm going to say insert keyframe. So now I can make some changes, and I don't have to worry about messing up what I've done already. So moving on, we're going to maybe just pause for about, I don't know, just a few frames, and then I'm going to add another set of keyframes. So from here to here, everything's just the same. But now I'm going to make a laser come out of his head, and what I'm going to do is create a new layer. So the new layer icon will look like this. In some of the versions of Animate, it's down below. Okay, so I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to label it laser, and we're also going to drag it below the robot. So you can simply drag layers up and down. I'm dragging it below the robot, and now I need to insert a blank keyframe right here. So right click and say insert blank keyframe. And we're going to examine some of the tools that Animate has to draw with. We haven't drawn yet in Animate, and so I figured I'd show you how to use this. It's pretty simple. You can use the rectangle tool. I'm going to make my laser red, and you could have an outline color or not. Just depends on what you want to do. Okay, so you can, if you don't want an outline color, you can click that. Sometimes that's the way to go. We can go Windows Properties and take a look at what other options we have. You can make the stroke is the outline width. So let's just say, for example, we draw our laser. And you draw the laser beam about like that. You know, perhaps you wanted the stroke to be, the outline to be bigger. You might want to redo that and make a bigger outline for your laser. And so you could play around with that. To select it, I would lock all of the layers and then just simply click to unlock the laser layer. And then you can, I'm going to zoom out with the black arrows, select the entire laser you've drawn, and then you could adjust the stroke width this way. You could type in a number value if you don't want to use the slider, which seemed a little difficult for me. Okay, so we're just going to do that. There's the laser. It just shoots up instantly. And we are going to go ahead and insert some frames. Say about, wait, we need something else to happen. The laser's going to hit it, and we're going to make a little explosion zap. So we're going to create another layer. I'm going to click on the robot layer. Let's lock the laser for a second. And make a new layer, and we're going to just call this boom. Okay, we're going to need to put a blank keyframe. And what I wanted to teach you is how to use the star tool in Adobe Animate. So click right here in this keyframe, select that keyframe. And we're going to use this polygon, polystar tool. And I'm going to hit options down here. If you don't see options, it might be tucked away in the properties window. Hit options. And you could set polygon to star. And you can change the number of sides. I'm just going to go say like, let's go 15 sides, okay? And I'm going to hit OK. And now when I drag, so I've clicked in this keyframe. When I drag my star, it's going to give me a shape. And that looks pretty cool, except now I'm going to click in here and I'm going to move it into place. And except for the fact that it's below the UFO. So I want to raise it. I'm going to drag this layer up above so you could actually see it. And then I'm going to do something new, different here. I'm going to add a, you're going to watch something. Everything's going to disappear except for the boom layer. When I insert another keyframe, you'll see there's no frames on any of the other layers. So right now only the boom exists. We're going to fix that in a second, but I'm going to show you how to enlarge. So this transform tool, I'm going to go ahead and enlarge this, and you could actually rotate too if you want. What's really cool in Animate is if you click off and if you hover over by the corners, you can kind of like drag some of these points, like almost like it's a clay shape, and you could kind of just drag them out. You know, you don't have to do that for yours, but just know that you can. Okay, so I'm gonna go back one frame. It looked like that, and then it kind of just went like this, like boom, boom. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and highlight all the frames below it, insert another keyframe, and on the laser, let me lock everything except for the laser, and I'm going to delete the laser from the second keyframe. So a laser shoots really fast, right? The speed of light, I suppose. And so it shoots up there, it hits the UFO, and now let's make the UFO spin and fly away. So I'm going to zoom out. Let me see, fit in window. So I'm going to zoom out, and now I'm going to go into the future. Let's say, I don't know, this many frames. This might be too many, but I'm going to right click and say insert frame. So now it hits the UFO, and we need to make that explosion disappear. So on the boom layer, we're going to go ahead and right click right here and say insert blank keyframe. So now the boom just happens and disappears. And let's go to the UFO layer. Let's insert a keyframe right here. Let's do this. Wait, we already have the tween on him, so let's go to the end and let's see what happens if we now move the UFO. Oh, I gotta unlock the layer. Let's lock everything except the UFO. Let's just see what happens. I hope this goes okay. I'm gonna move this here. Now let's see, I ruined the tween. I did not, or did I? Let me see. He came swirling in. Let me see. He comes swirling in still. That's good, that's good, that's good. And he hovers up, and now after he got hit, he's gonna fly away into the distance. And in the last part here, let's make him shrink so he looks like he kind of got blasted into the distance. So flies away. And let's see what options we have for this tween here. I'm going to see if we could go window properties. I know that there is an ability to make it rotate. So let's see. Let's rotate him like 6 times. And I don't know if I put the rotation in the right place or not. Let's see. Yep, I did. So he's gonna, the problem is now he's flipping all over the place, isn't he? Okay, so I think what I want to do is I'm gonna not rotate him. And I think I'm gonna need to redo this tween. I'll do that in another tutorial because that would make this video too long. So for now, I'm just gonna make him zip away like this, real small, and let's move them up, yeah, like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and insert a whole another row of keyframes. Oops. Insert keyframe, and here I want to make sure that the UFO is gone. So whoops, I should not have done that. I accidentally deleted him. Let's just pull him off the screen here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm using the shift button and arrow keys on my keyboard to make him just go right off the edge of the page. Okay, and so there you have it. In the next tutorial, we are going to zoom in on the robot and make him do some kind of victory pose. Okay, so have fun zapping the UFO with the laser. Have fun.